made everything in order, and I made a design layout from Dribbble. Yes, I got some layout and I've built the index um, sign up and login page on Bubble itself. So this is the preview. So this is the index page, and I can navigate to my sign up page. Now this is my login page then. Sign up page, and I've also gotten some data that I would have to use for the course of the project. That's all I've done so far.
Okay. Sorry, can I see your Bubble app? Okay. And the front end, have you done anything there?
Yeah, this is the front end. This was the preview I was showing.
Okay.
This is the, and I've done the sign up and login page. This is the login page. And this is the sign up page.
Okay. Yeah, I would say I'm not too. We prioritize design a lot at NCI, so I'd say before you go too far in, take out time to just improve the current designs.
Okay.
As much as possible, starting off on a good front in terms of your design would help with onboarding your first users. So even on the login page, as much as possible, we would try, or the landing page like this, we would try to improve the design so that it looks cleaner and more usable. So I would say, because with Bubble, it's like two phases. Like there's the design, there's the back end, there's the workflow bits, right? I've seen developers that get good at design and just stick to it, meaning they do functional design. Functional design meaning they design with the intent of a developer coming in to slot in values or slot in workflows, right? So if there's going to be a repeating group here, they have already created that repeating group and added it in with dummy content. But they don't do workflows, right? A lot of the as much as you could lean either way, it's much better you at least be a master of one. So let's not jump too fast into doing workflow stuff. Let's still train our design skills to be able to look at an inspiration and then see how we can closely match that inspiration in Bubble. So I would say, can you go over to Dribbble? So if you're in a new tab, you can search Dribbble. So that's DRI. Yes. So this is one of the sites that I used to use a long time ago, but also is still beneficial today. I would say you want to search. You might want to search college or something related to students. So you could search, something college. Yeah, just search this and let's see what they give us. Okay, so maybe not college. Maybe we might want to do. Okay, yeah. Look, I'm particularly focusing on the landing page. So just scroll down. You can see a few landing pages there, right? If you just scroll down. So that one on the left, not that one, just above this. Yes, so this one. So you can see how this looks, right? And this is just an example, but as a bubble dev, it's important that when trying to come up with designs, because I understand that not every bubble developer is going to just have an eye for design straight away. But the one thing that you should try to look out for is being able to look at existing designs, right? And eyeball it to be able to transfer over the pixels from the design to actual bubble design. So for example, can you share your link to your website in the chat so I can just pick it out? But here's what we're talking about. There's a few tools that we could use to not only help with our eyeballing for design, but it could also help with our color selection, because it's quite important that the color selection also matches up with what we're trying to do. You'd want to share the link to your Bubble app. That's what I'm looking for. But the color selection matters with designs. I'm going to show you something which is it could be as simple as you're taking a picture, right? You could go over to there's an app called Image Color Picker. If you upload that picture, over here you can pick out the hex values, right? You can know exactly what to apply on your app, even though you were not the one who designed it. So this is important with trying to transfer over designs in Bubble. So if this is what you came up with, it's a case of, okay, what was I looking as inspiration for this? How can I make this look more professional? How can I make it look more like this? And this is just an example, but that's the first step, right? If you now decide that, okay, yes, this is the design that I'm going for, it then means that you have to start eyeballing certain things. So on the right is our design, on the left is our Bubble app, right? The very first thing that we get to see is this top section here, which is which contains information and links. So that's a header above the fold, right? This header, from what I can see here, could be around 50 or 60 pixels in height. So that's our first thing to do. We have seen the layout of the page. It's a column layout, which means that the containers are stacked on top of each other, right? If I get my group and I drop it in here, change this to column. So this is my group, right? I always like to look at groups like containers. So in this top section, you have one container. you have another container inside it, you have another container inside it, and this inner container could have two smaller containers, which are rows, right? Then if you go to the right, you see another container over here. So this is how you would ideally go through the design of a screen that you are eyeballing, right? If I extend that, remember that I said I think this is somewhere around 50 pixels. 50 pixels is too wide, it's too high. So this is probably 40. So I can reduce that to 40. I would call it I could call it header 1, right? The first thing in header 1 is it's left aligned. How do I know it's left aligned? The inner group in here is touching the edge. So that tells me that the container is not only a row, but it is left aligned. You can read more on left aligned here, but you can see child elements would align to the left edge of the parent. So understanding child element and parent element is very important. Here's why. When your app gets to a certain stage, and I'll pull up an app, maybe I'm not. What we're trying to show is the fact that you could have a lot of pages, right? Understanding parents and child relationships is very important to not go insane looking at a lot of elements. So the left side, which is your elements tree, helps break down things for you to a here is what is the parent, here is what is the child. So in this main one, you see that the main is the parent here. The parent is the one that sits on the direct bubble editor, right? These are all children of that parent. So you can see how there's a gap and it's under these, right? Children could have more sub children. So the header, for example, the parent element is the main. The parent element is the project main. If you scroll down further, you can see how there's a lot more relationships in terms of, child and parent relationships. So back to our example, the first thing is you have an inner child relationship over here, and that has a color. So you're getting a group, you're dropping it in here. This looks like it's maybe 100 in width, so I could have a max width of 100, maybe not. So you could extend that to 200. These are social links, so you can see that every group I drop in, I'm trying to give it a name, and I'm trying to make it distinguishable here, because it is over here on my elements tree, as I've shown you, that you would be able to better manage an app that has increased in size, right? If you say that you want to do that directly from the elements, you might move things around and it might just be harder. So over here, our color picker has told us that this is the hex code. So I'm coming back to my app and I'm changing that hex code, right? So now we have this. Next thing is the links. In this one, I can now decide, okay, these links look like they are right in the center. If there's a layout that provides that option, it is align to parent. Align to parent is basically that you're trying to center certain things. You can angle them. So for example, all child elements are going to react because the parent element is aligned to parent, right? So if I drop in another group, remember we're trying to put in socials now. So I've dropped in this group, and these are going to be the social icons, right? They're going to have a fixed height of 20, let's say 20, and they're going to be right in the center. Over here, you can see that there's spacing at the left and the right. So all I need to do for this is just make sure that it is fit to the width of the content. So if I get my icons, it's also important that you can move things on the left into the right parent. The elements tree is going to be so helpful for you. So the faster you get the hang of it, the better. I like to use feather icons. All of these icons are icons that you could go to and see more about them. So these are all icons that are supported. Another one is Ionic. Ionic is also an icon store. Ionic. There's an Ionic framework that is also supported for icons. So that is what is pulled in here. So you understand a bit more how icons work. But we're going to come to that in future lessons. Over here, there's a Facebook link, there's a Twitter link. These are all things that we could add and say this is 18 by 18. I'm going to remove the padding, maybe reduce the size, right? So just now we have been able to, no, this should be a row. So we've been able to do this, which is the left side. We have put in the content group, the socials group in here, and it's now easy to copy paste. You can go to the outer one and increase the gap spacing between them, right? You can then come here and change, okay, I want this to be Twitter, I want this to be LinkedIn, that sort of thing. But this is all using an eye test. I'm looking at this, I can see that the gap between here and here is different from the gap between here and here. If you see that, you come here, you make adjustments, and you proceed, right? You need to improve on your pixel to pixel ratio, because not every design or every client you're going to get is going to come with a design. They would likely send you, okay, I like this idea, I like this screen I saw on so and so site, and I want you to do it in Bubble. So these are tests that are going to come back to you. It's much better, it's like foundational stuff. It's much better you get the hang of it early, so that moving forward, things are better. So if you feel like you haven't gotten there yet, it's much better you stay there, tax yourself with different examples and see how can I transfer these over to Bubble. There's no rush to the finish line. It's much better you take it slowly and get better at it. Do you have any questions?
No, sir. I just wanted to clarify the theme for the design was great altogether.
Sorry?
I said I wanted to confirm if the theme, the blue theme I used for the design is cool, or I should change it entirely.
Are you talking about the color, or what are you talking about?
Yeah, the theme, the whole theme, the blue and white theme.
Blue and the white works. It's just not it's not modern. So 5 years ago, maybe this would work, but you need to understand that we're trying to keep up with the design changes, the trends, all of these things. So as much as possible, we are not starting off with basic designs. We're trying to, both improve our skills and make our app marketable. Remember, we are building actual businesses. So if you feel like, and I saved something here that I said I would show you guys, but this was a tweet by someone who works at Bubble. In this thread, he talked about a few apps that were built on Bubble and how much they are making. This is exactly what we're trying to say. It is very, very possible to build apps that could go on to 0 to 1 million ARR in months. Some of these products are specific to their location. So, for example, this one focuses on New York City, right? This one is it's a business that makes 5,000 meals a day and trying to automate it. So there's a lot of use cases, particularly in your current location. So I need you to think big. Don't think about the fact that don't think about the fact that you're launching this in your school and anything that you serve them, they're going to just take it. Think about the fact that there's a lot of schools that could tap into your idea. So more schools mean more users. More users means more eyes on your app, which could get you the traction you need to be one of these guys, right? So I don't think the color combo is wrong. It just needs to be designed better. So reach out to Beverly, discuss designs. We have gone through scoping phase, right? Next up is design. This is how we do it in NCI. So even though you don't have a designer, you need to be able to put things together to make a good design, right? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Rola, do you want to talk about your app?
There's actually not really much to say. I'm still trying to correct some things that Beverly corrected earlier today. So basically, the app is it's a platform where patients can access doctors, from the comfort of their house, of their rooms. They can talk to a doctor about what's going on with them. So before it was you talk to a doctor selling point, and what I'm actually thinking of is being able to talk to doctor even when you are not online, but I'm still vetting it if it is possible to maybe have a doctor's contact, or you can always contact even if you don't have access to internet and it's really urgent. I need to talk to the doctor. So I'm still considering that. But basically, that's a summary of the whole app, basically.
Okay. Have you heard of BetterHelp?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so BetterHelp is maybe not this one, yeah. So let me share my screen to show you this. BetterHelp is an online platform for therapists to connect to individuals, couples, or teenagers, right? So the therapists are brought on by BetterHelp, so they are vetted, right? The same way you would not want to put in any random doctor. I think your use case, you're leaning towards comfort of the home, no pressure type of thing. So it's they have around 27,000 or so qualified therapists that are ready to help. These are the people that are using the app every single day, basically asking for advice, and then the therapist giving them the advice. So you can see how it works. You get matched to the best therapist. You communicate. You talk to them, text, chat, audio, video. And then whenever you want the service, you can simply just go to it. This is how much it will cost. So their cost is ranging between $70 to $100 per week, and it's billed every 4 weeks. I guess what I'm trying to do is give you an idea into the kind of support that you'll be looking to give in your app. However, your target market is important. Nigerians, if those are your first target markets, they're not going to pay you as much for the type of service you're trying to give. But I haven't really talked about that with you. So who's your target market for this?
Okay, honestly, the reason why I came up with this idea was an experience I had in the hospital, right? And I remember how I'm currently having medical, I don't say issues, but I've been constantly going to the clinic, and sometimes the way I would just need to even ask if I need to even come in, if it is urgent enough to come in, and there's no way I can ask. I have to now go to the hospital, wait in queue. So that was actually the reason why I thought that let's have that platform where you can always even get first and consultations to know if your case is even serious enough to come in, and if you do need to come in, you would probably have it to be easier for you, since you are coming in from the app. You're not coming in as just a patient that's going to be queuing, so you don't have to queue. You're just coming in straight away. So that was actually the idea that made me come up with this idea, basically. So speaking of target audience, basically I just feel the Nigerian medical system is, for example, look at me now. I can only see my doctors on Tuesday, only on Tuesday. So if I miss my Tuesday appointment, I have to wait again till the next Tuesday. So it's just so, and that Tuesday we had so many of us are waiting to this, only just this doctor. I know that if I'm not able to see this doctor today, it's to the next Tuesday. So that's why I just felt, okay, we can make this things easier for ourselves. Let's have an online hospital, right, where we could, talk and get consultations. So that's actually why, for me, I just feel it's much easier, outside the country to get access to medical help than Nigeria, because Nigerian medical system will stress you. It will really, really stress you. And just like you said, Nigerians are not ready to pay. I just feel that they're even prepared to go through that stress of coming in 6 a.m. to queue, waiting for the doctors, and they're prepared to go through it, right? So, but I just feel that, there are still some people out there like me that just wish I don't have to go through all that stress just to see a doctor, basically. So that's it.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see. Okay. I hear what you're saying. It's a very hard market to get into. I know a couple guys who have tried to do tech-related stuff for Medicare in geographically this side of the world. It's much harder to entry, but it's one of the things that you would likely be looking out for is this, because Bubble doesn't have Bubble database isn't HIPAA compliant yet, right? And because it's not HIPAA compliant, even though that might not really that's not really a thing over here, but if you're trying to go global, it's going to be an issue because you cannot store health information directly on the Bubble database without this compliance. But I think what you're trying to do for the point you're trying to do it is enough for this bootcamp, in the sense that you would be able to test the market with it. So I'd say, yeah, just keep at it and think of an easy UI that makes it easy for the doctors or doesn't make it stressful for them to keep in touch with whoever they are consulting. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, and my name is Ebuka, so you can drop the star. Joseph, do you want to go? Joseph?
Yes. I said last time I presented the work and I looked at it, you were right. It might not be something that might be sellable and feasible. And you advised me to go on, instead of looking for lecturers and tutors that will handle that I can use AI, incorporate an AI into the app so that AI students can ask some questions or maybe can use the AI to do some of their work and get and maybe have a subscription for what they want. If, for instance, we're in a situation where a student wants to upload a document and he or she wants the document to be summarized or maybe give some keywords. The person can put a good prompt into the app that can help to do that. Or even a lecturer can maybe wants to prepare a lecture note, maybe I'm looking from the angle where a lecturer can upload some documents, and after they upload maybe 2 or 3 documents, and the app will synchronize and produce a lecture note from the documents. And write documents and those which the AI can help him or her to develop the questions. That's what I'm looking at. I'm still researching on how best I can do that to get a good one.
Okay, so for your app, we're working on something right now. I could just show you this, but this is very similar to what you're working on, in the sense that the instructors can upload lab content, right? So all of this is lab content relating to HVAC, and all the students can do is either come here to attach the file to the chat, right, and ask the AI a question based on that document, right? So what is this? What is heat load calculations? The AI would then look through this document. So over here you can see, here's your chat, here's the AI thinking. It pulls back the records in a second, and then it gives you an answer, right? So in a way, this would help with students who have a lot of not lab per se, but PDF content in terms of, okay, this is course material. Not everyone has the time to go through 50 pages of course material, but if you have a system where the instructor uploads this content, and then for a certain fee, the students could subscribe to both view the content and also chat with the content, possibly leave notes around that content, which then helps them in preparing for their exams. It feels like it is more beneficial, and then it might be something that they might say, okay, I would pay for this. Remember, there's two things. They could easily do this on OpenAI, so you never want to forget that. They could take the AI lab and just go straight to AI and just do it. But remember, you're trying to penetrate two markets. One is the instructor, because it could be you that is the instructor now, because all you need to do is just upload files, right? But once you upload those files, how do you get people to use it? That's why it's much easier to get to have instructors maybe use the platform. Maybe there's some type of that might be just overcomplicating it. But to start, this is a simple MVP that you could start with that benefits your immediate community, right?
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Okay.
Do you have any questions? All right. So
No.
So yeah, we would stop here for today. It's been a good session. I would say by next week, the calendar invites will be all done, so it will be much better for others to join. Maybe by next week also we should have a lot more content in terms of short videos, and those would help with getting up to speed. All right, thanks guys. I would upload this to YouTube and share the link. Please reach out to those you're assigned to, as that is how you can progress faster. It's much better to reach out to people that are in your bootcamp, and also reach out to those that you're assigned to, so that you can just upskill faster. The reason for this bootcamp is so that you can be attached to people who already have better experience, and then they get you up to speed faster. So if you don't use them, remember, we're running out of time. So it's much better to make the best use out of the resources you have. Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you.